I was pregnant, drinking my Poland Spring water bottles because you have to stay hydrated when you're pregnant. Like this was before everyone was started using reusable water bottles and was thinking about endocrine disruption, and it horrified me. And so I kind of began my I don't want to call it zero waste journey because I find that very alienating and striving for perfection. But I started like my plastic reduction journey, and I could make all the swaps. I could get rid of paper towels. I could get rid of pretty much anything, plastic wrap. But the thing that really got to me was the hair care options.
Welcome to Suburban Warrior, the podcast that will impact, inspire, and empower you to transform your mindset and become the badass warrior that you are. I'm your host and fellow warrior, Chrissy Pfeiffer, former clinician and corporate marketing exec turned multi-passionate entrepreneur, performance and life coach, and mom to 4 not-so-little warriors. Each week, I will bring you honest conversations with inspiring guests to share their stories of resilience, optimism, success, and simple yet effective strategies so that you transform your thoughts and change your behavior to get the results you want in your life. You will be empowered to take action, warrior up, and believe in you. Let's do this. What's up, warriors? Welcome back to another episode of the Suburban Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Chrissy Pfeiffer, and I am back this week again with another amazing suburban warrior here to share her story with us. And this week is going to be so fun. We have an entrepreneur who's going to share with us this amazing product that she has brought to market. I think it's very novel, very new. There's nothing like it out there, and I can't wait to hear her story and also hear more about the product as well. So let me welcome to the podcast, Kate Assaraf. She is the founder and CEO of Dip Sustainable Hair Care, a 7-figure beauty brand built with integrity, without Amazon, influencers, or big box retailers. She grew up very poor, rebuilt after the painful failure of her first business, and completed a 2-year spiritual conversion to Judaism, all while creating a company that prioritizes people over algorithms and small retailers over monopolies. Kate is a Forbes columnist, 2024 New Jersey Mompreneur of the Year, which is so cool. Congratulations. And creator of the Shop Small Index, a monthly report tracking the health of America's small businesses. Her mission is to help others build strong lives and businesses without selling out. Welcome to the podcast, Kate.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and having such a warm introduction.
I'm so excited to hear about your story and more about Dip, which I'm so excited to hear about. But first, I want to hear a little bit about you and your journey and sort of, how you got here. So why don't we start? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kate.
Sure. Well, my name is Kate. I'm born and raised in New Jersey, and I never knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur or have a hair care line or be so into sustainability. I didn't know any of these things were headed my way until I read about how plastic not only accumulates on the planet, but it also ends up affecting our health and our endocrine systems. And, when I was pregnant with my first son in 2014, my brother handed me this book, and it was called Boys Adrift. It was basically investigating like how to raise, strong sons is basically the gist of it. And the new age kind of factors that have changed what it means to raise boys. And so one of them was video games. One of them, they talked about hunting. And then one of the things that the author went into depth upon was plastic. And it was something that had never occurred to me before. Back in 2014, no one was talking about this stuff. And here I was pregnant with my first son and reading about how what happened that really shocked me was that he was researching about plastic runoff in the Potomac River and how the male fish that were localized to that started laying eggs. And he said, it was very shocking to find out that, humans are disrupting aquatic life at such a crazy level. And, he kind of hinted at the fact that this is probably happening to humans and all other wildlife as well. And so, I was pregnant, drinking my Poland Spring water bottles because you have to stay hydrated when you're pregnant. Like this was before everyone was started using reusable water bottles and was thinking about endocrine disruption, and it horrified me. And so I kind of began my I don't want to call it zero waste journey because I find that very alienating and striving for perfection. But I started like my plastic reduction journey, and immediately the thing that I could make all the swaps. I could get rid of paper towels. I could get rid of, the plastic sponge we all use on our food. I can get rid of, pretty much anything, plastic wrap, switch them for stasher bags. But the thing that really got to me was the hair care options. And I discovered that like most of the hair care bars that were on the market were made with like plastic free forward instead of really thinking about hair in mind. And as someone who takes a lot of pride in my hair, I couldn't, it's something very guilty for me because I would project out that I'm reducing my plastic, but really when no one could see me, I was in the shower using fancy bottles.
Right, right, right. So my question was going to be because I think that's an interesting leap, right? Where you're, looking at sustainability and plastics and microplastics. And by the way, I mean, that is literally a topic that is on my mind on the daily. I mean, it is from seeing Keurigs around to seeing everyone drinking out of their plastic water bottles, including my kids when I'm like, drink out of your reusables. Because they're like adult age kids. And I mean, everything. It's just around us everywhere. Our meat is wrapped in it. Like, you name it. Like you said, it was funny as you were saying that, like, oh, the plastic sponges that you clean with. I'm thinking to myself, I never really thought about that.
Oh, man.
Like, damn it.
Once you get deep into it, everything.
Everything. That's what I'm saying.
It's like a horror show.
Yes, it is a horror show. So that in itself is really exhausting. And I can see how if, in 2014, that world opened up for you, that's 11 years ago. And, you're really thinking about all of these things. So then I get it. Now you're getting the shower and you have your shampoo bottles and you're like, okay, here's this plastic. Because that's, right. I was going to ask, how did you get from that sustainability and the plastics to then shampoo and body wash? But that's interesting. It's just one area where.
Yeah, I've been in beauty for a long time. So since my early 20s and now I'm in my 40s. And so in between, I knew I could solve this problem. Like that, how when you buy something that's sustainable, you're usually paying more and it makes you feel less than.
Yeah.
That's a very, very common feedback thing you see just among sustainability, like aggregate opinion of it. People are tired of trying to do the right thing only to pay more and then get burned by like spending money on something that doesn't work. And so I had that experience time and time again. I probably tried 15, I don't know, maybe 30 different bar brands before I was like, okay, I know I can solve this. I've been in beauty long enough. I can make really great hair care and I'll make it, the bar is so big that they'll save people money and I'll make them so good that like they will wow people. Right now, as of today, we haven't really advertised. We've never run a TikTok, Facebook, Instagram ad. We've done a couple print ads in surf magazines, but really we haven't done a big marketing blitz yet.
It's amazing.
And it grows on its own via word of mouth because people can't believe that it works. Yeah. And that it works as well as like their Orbe, Pureology, Kerastase, like their beloved, pricey kind of status hair care brands.
Right. Okay. So explain to my audience what it is that you've created.
Sure.
I have little samples here that if anyone can see.
I'll train you.
Yeah. Okay, so but people can't see it. So sure. Tell them what it is.
Okay,
it's a bar, a beautifully packaged bar.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's shampoo and conditioner in bar form, which has existed already, but I really wanted to make it for someone like me who was kind of a prestige hair care junkie, and I also wanted to make it purposeful in some way. So the shampoo bar has two different pieces of it that I think are really important for people to know about. Okay. One is that the less you press, the more it lathers. So for me, and we were talking about this earlier, I had a time in my life where I experienced a lot of hair loss. I've lost probably like 60% of my hair. And during that time, I grew so much empathy for people who lose hair for all different reasons, whether it's, stress, COVID took people's hair, perimenopause, chemo. There's all sorts of reasons people lose their hair. And so for me, I knew that the last thing I wanted as a consumer was to rub something on my head that was going to need friction and pull out my precious strands, because all I want to do is like keep them in.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Listen, I can empathize with you very much so, because I too went through the same journey, and I mean, it hasn't even been that long ago. It was like 2021, so like 4 years ago.
yeah,
And again, it was probably like around 60%, of my hair that I lost, and it was a journey. It was over a year. It took me to grow it
yeah,
back, and it was a combination of a lot of things. And again, I think that's a symptom of a lot of different things. To your point, it could
yeah.
be perimenopause, could be thyroid, could be COVID related, it could be autoimmune, but it's a symptom that a lot of women in midlife experience, and it's devastating.
It's devastating. It's one
Devastating.
of
It's your whole identity.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if you're listening and you haven't experienced hair loss, maybe you've experienced a bad dye job or a bad haircut that you have
Right,
to live
right,
with.
right.
And think about, that's already devastating. Now imagine if it's just something you can't fix
Yeah,
and it gets
yeah,
worse every day. Like at least a
yeah.
bad haircut eventually will grow back, or bad dye job.
Yes.
Okay, you have a couple days before you can get it fixed. But when you're
Right.
losing hair and every time you shower, it like it falls out in your hands, it is so emotional. And so the shampoo has that, it's made so that it needs speed, not friction. Think like an air hockey puck gliding over a table, not
Yeah.
pressure. And so the other thing about it is that I'm a runner, and the wisdom is like you can't shower every day, right?
Yeah.
So
Right,
I
right.
wanted to make the shampoo gentle enough so that you never had to choose between your workout and a good hair day. You could
Okay.
shower it's so gentle. You can shower every day with this if you want. And that was really important to me. And then if we move over to the conditioner, I don't know about you, have curls. So like
I
I
do.
imagine you use a lot of conditioner.
Yeah. I use a lot of conditioner, and it has to your point, it has to be the right conditioner, because it
Yes.
has to glide, because I
Yes.
have to get all of my curls out. And I do remember reading about your products,
Hmm.
and I remember reading that the conditioner specifically glides
It
very much
glides.
so.
Yeah, very much. And so the one large conditioner bar for me can replace 12 tubes of Oribe Gold Lust, which is over
Wow.
$500 a year. So this one
Wow.
bar,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's my little middle finger to the
Yeah.
beauty industry.
I love it.
I like,
You can tell you're from Jersey.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, like this idea, I was spending so much money, and so much money on just conditioner. Like I kind of
Yeah.
think you can buy any shampoo. I love my shampoo because I'm a runner and I can use it every day. But like,
Yeah.
I think the conditioner is the workhorse of the shower, and
Yeah.
it's the most important thing
Totally.
in the whole shower.
It
And
is.
so the conditioner is basically my magnum opus. It is so good. It can work if a family is mixed, right? If you have a mom with type 4 hair and a dad with like, who's a redhead and his hair is thin, like this one bar can satisfy both of those hair types. And if they have a gaggle of kids, every single hair type in between that comes out. So
That's amazing.
so it's what's so amazing is that it lasts forever. So you buy it once a year, maybe. And if you have curly hair, you're sold so many extra products that you
Yeah.
probably don't need. The conditioner bar can replace a lot of them. So it can replace a lot of curl creams for a lot of people, and also serums and anti-frizz. So it does all of those things if you use it as a leave-in. And then the
Wow.
other thing is that my husband and I, we're not very good surfers, but we like to surf. We like to play in the water. We like to go anytime there's a pool, we jump right on in. The conditioner bar is also an after swim detangler. So when you come out of the ocean or the pool, you dip the bar in water, run it down very wet hair, and you can air dry it and go. You don't even need to find a shower to rinse it out.
Wow.
Because
That's
detangling,
huge.
yeah, for parents is huge. For people that just want to like, say you're at like a, I don't know, you're on a boat, you just want to look good in
Yeah.
the photos. Like it's just
Right.
lets you air dry and go. But the people I get the most letters and emails from are parents, usually fathers, that they've been given the routine job of detangling their daughter's hair after shower time. And I get a lot of messages from dads being like, this has like saved my relationship with my daughter because there's no ouches when they're detangling.
I love that. And I mean, I think just that in general, just having that at the beach to be able to
Yeah.
like throw on and detangle,
It's the
especially if you
best.
like, it's amazing.
It's because I've been bringing liquid conditioner since I was 11 to the beach,
Yeah,
and it's
like a leave-in spray or something. Yeah.
well, no, even actual conditioner. I've like globbed it into my hand and like put it in my and it separates in the sun, a lot of them, because you don't use your good conditioner to bring to the beach. You
Right,
always have your
right, right,
crappy
right.
one, in the bottle. So I've been doing that since I was 11. And when I developed dip, I was like, it has to solve this problem. It has to detangle someone's hair at the beach, and the bar can't melt. It has to be, fully functional for
Right.
me, because I know there's more me's out there.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, since you've been in the beauty industry for so long and you've researched so much shampoo and conditioner, do you think some of these, like the brands that have like Restore, shampoo for color, shampoo for curly, shampoo for straight, shampoo for thickening, shampoo, like, I mean, there's a shampoo for everything. Is that marketing?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. There's no hesitation. I mean, my peers in beauty
Yes.
might hate me for saying that. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think it's marketing. I think that developed and really ballooned at a time when retail space was really important. So,
Yeah.
like a brand would want to have a million SKUs
Right.
customer facing and have a huge presence on the shelf.
Yeah.
So you didn't really
Because I mean, how different is it really? I
not
mean, how, the formulas, like, I
not
understand that different brands are different, but like within the same brand, and they have these 10 different,
yeah.
you go, I mean, even when you just go to like a CVS and you're like, look at a brand, it's like volumizing for color,
Yeah.
for curly, for straight. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is there really a difference?
Not
So,
really.
there you go. You just solved the problem. Solved it
And
for me.
and what's so funny, I mean, with bar shampoo and conditioner, like for me, it had to satisfy many hair types, because what kind of family could store a bunch of different hair types bars in their one shower?
Right, right, right.
It's
Exactly.
ridiculous. Like you don't
Yes.
need to upsell to a family. Like let
Yeah.
them buy less.
Yeah. It's
That was
amazing.
important.
So tell us about, well, I want to talk two things. I want to talk about the ingredients,
Okay.
and then I also want to talk about your marketing plan, because you really have grown without, like you said, without Amazon, without influencers. So, well, while we're on the shampoo, tell us about the ingredients and, how you've come up with the, I know they're clean and good for you
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So tell us about that.
There's a few different kind of lists of what's considered clean and what isn't.
Yeah.
We went with one of the strictest, which was Credo Beauty. And what I did was I found the best chemist I could find that had never made bar hair care before. Because what happens is in the beauty industry, once something's like invented, say like bar hair care, so it's invented, then people flock to that manufacturer and change the marketing ingredients, and so you have a whole bunch of sameness in the industry, just packaged different, molded in different molds, and
Yeah.
you have a lot of sameness out there. I wanted something proprietary, and so I found a chemist who had been hired to make lots of really high-end professional back bar salon shampoos and conditioners, and he'd been doing it for 40 years, so he's been around for a long time. And I said, take out all of the trends, take out all of the kind of new age stuff that like you see all the brands using right now. Take what you know in your 40 years of formulation and make the best hair care you can make in bar form. And we probably went through about 40 different iterations before we landed on something that would work for like kinky coily hair all the way down to fine hair, fine
Yeah.
straight hair. And what was important to me was also important to him. He was an older white guy, but he had mixed grandchildren. And so he wanted also to make a sustainable option for, like the biracial population, the mixed population that has like a million different hair types and like different
Right.
curl patterns. So we were both on the same wavelength there of what we wanted to accomplish, and it became like a passion project for him, and we had a lot of fun kind of getting it into people's hands. And so the ingredients are basically tried and true and set to Credo's clean standards,
Yeah.
but it's the way we kind of put them together and really tried to make it so families could buy less, that is really special to the brand.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That is very special to the brand. So, and then, okay, so the marketing, tell us about your philosophy there about not wanting to be on Amazon or on TikTok with big influencers.
Yeah, so I am what I think is a pretty smart person. And I don't think being smart is exclusive to me. Some people think they're smarter than everyone. I don't think so. I meet smart people all the time.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I imagine that other people feel the way I do about influencers, right? Like that person didn't pay for the product. That person is paid to talk about the product. And that person got the product for free as well, usually.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand why anyone would want the opinion of someone who hasn't paid for the product. So when it came to marketing, I was like, what if we kind of use this, like ran a social experiment? Like, this is the experiment. We don't pay people to like our products. We don't pay people to like them. We don't have fake customers, which is like UGC. We don't have people just there to make videos that don't pay for it. We want people who have made that emotional choice of like seeing the spectrum of bars out there, choosing dip, and then letting them hype it up if they want to. And sometimes we've had actual customers post videos about dip, and then we had one in particular that went to 2 million views and gave us a lot of sales, and we wrote to that creator afterwards and was like, oh my god, thank you so much. Like, we can either give you money, or if you have a charity that you really like are excited about, like, we'll send money to that charity. And she chose the charity, it was called Snipso, where she got her puppy. And so
Aw.
and it was fun for us because we were able to write a check. We wrote it for $1,111.11 because it felt like such good karma, and we just like sent that over to her charity in her name.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
we do that a lot with when a customer posts something that goes viral. It's like really important to us to keep that marketing authentic and make that part of the story. So if I often say to customers, if you see something great about dip or terrible about dip,
Yeah.
both of them are real.
Yeah. Either one, you're getting the real
One.
story.
And that might be the New Jersey in me, but I just think people want real stuff, and they're so
Yeah.
sick of like fake hype.
Yeah.
And then the Amazon thing is just, absolutely, I am digitally fatigued, right?
Yeah.
I think I don't know how to explain this. I think there's so much review pollution, let's just call it, on Amazon, that I don't think people can make educated decisions, no matter how educated you think you are when you're looking at reviews. Many of those are paid for. Many of those are from bot farms. Many of those are just AI at this point. Like, you can
Right.
AI reviews like crazy. Like, you can,
Yeah.
there's so many
It's
loopholes to
crazy.
make it
Yeah.
fake. That's one piece. And then the other piece is that we mostly sell in small stores, like independently owned stores.
Yeah.
And that is really important to me, for people to make a return to shopping in store. A lot of the stores we work with, they're like they some of them sell $50,000 to $75,000 worth of dip a year. Like, that
Wow.
dip pays their rent. Dip is like, it gets people shopping for other things in their store. We do a lot as a brand to support the small store owner, because I honestly think that they're very important to communities around the country.
Yeah. Absolutely. I do think that I mean, I hear everything you're saying and agree, like getting back to shopping
Mhm.
small, shopping in store. It's really important. I mean, you see all these big stores closing, there's malls
Yeah.
closing, and if we lose the small local stores,
What's left?
it's a sad day. It's a sad
Yeah.
day. Because there is something to be said about going in person and buying the products that you're looking for, especially things that you want to smell and touch and feel
And
and
ask
see
questions.
and ask
Like,
questions about. Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So, well, that's really amazing. What would you say to people that have never tried a bar shampoo or conditioner, and like, how different is it than using the liquids that we're all so used to?
Well, I would say, for me anyway, I would say dip is very serious hair care for not so serious people. So like,
Okay, I love that.
most people I know are not that serious, and they don't
Right,
need like the froofy marketing surrounding it. So a lot of our
right,
marketing is really like silly and fun. But I would tell them, it's real. I tried to preserve the same experience. So I wanted someone to feel like the shampoo lathered and exploded with lather, and I wanted someone to feel like the conditioner had so much slip, and it was exactly what people felt like they wanted in luxury hair care.
yeah,
So I would say, I know that making this kind of change and listening to some shampoo lady on a podcast is like, you it's a big leap if you're kind of like, I'm not that crunchy, I'm not that granola. But I will say that we have a return policy. Like, if you try it and you hate it, we'll gladly, I don't want your money if you don't like it, but our return rate is like 0.006%. Like,
Wow.
it's crazy. And there are some people that buy dip, over and over and over for everyone that they love. And we started this company in 2021. We have people that have been using it since that first month, day one. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I love that. And I love what you said because I do think that sometimes when people think about like a shampoo bar or conditioner bar, to your point, it might feel crunchy,
Yeah.
and or like surfer, because I know we talked about, you sell to surfers and it's because it's obviously very easy for them to use and that sort of thing. But so I love what you said that it's not really, it's serious. It is serious hair care
Yeah.
for not so serious people. So yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the story because you started another business, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you describe it as you had to rebuild after rock bottom. And I'd love to hear a little bit about that because I think that there's a lot of people out there that might be, maybe in a career that they're not so sure they want to stay in. A lot of women who maybe have taken time out from the workforce and, to raise a family. And now they might be looking to get back into the workforce and wondering what should I do next? And, or thinking that they can't because their skills aren't transferable. And,
Yeah.
all the stories that we tell
Absolutely.
ourselves as women
Yeah.
that are complete BS, but we, tell ourselves anyway.
I can add another BS story I told
Yeah.
myself
Tell
when
us, let's hear it.
I came to rock bottom. So
Yeah.
I came up with this. I started researching about bar shampoo and conditioner back, way back in that 2014 when I was pregnant with my first son. And then finally later I didn't trust myself to start the company on my own. So I took on a business partner. And even though I had kind of done most of the work and had it all, like, I didn't trust myself to do like the bookkeeping, the accounting, like all the kind of stuff that makes it's just not my wheelhouse,
Right.
the legal stuff,
Totally.
all that stuff. Anyway, I can't talk at too much depth about it, but the business was great. The partnership was not. And so, you find yourself sometimes not trusting your gut and moving forward in a direction just because you think you can't do something on your own. And
Right.
what that ended up, it almost cost me, by the end, like just dissolving the business that I loved and that I grew and that I was the face of. It threw me into such, well, first of all, financial turmoil is an understatement because it was smack in the middle of COVID, and closing a very successful brand because two people can't align is very fresh, and so
Yeah.
it
Very
killed my
frustrating.
dream that I was the face of it. So I suddenly, I don't know whether you've been through any situation where the shame, you wear the shame like um like a gorilla on your back,
Yeah.
basically. I felt
Yeah.
like it was on me all the time. I felt when people were looking at me, they were looking at me with pity because I closed my business, and I felt so humiliated that I couldn't make it work and I couldn't fix the rift and I couldn't. Then, it was very expensive to close a business, and I almost lost my house. I remember one moment where I was walking, and my husband, it was during COVID, he like also lost his job. And suddenly, I was walking through the supermarket, and I had two little boys at the time, and I couldn't afford really food. Like, I could afford like ramen and stuff, but not meat. It was like
Yeah.
that dire at one point. And my friends didn't really know how bad things were. We were kind of silently suffering because, you only use your social media for the highlight reel.
Oh, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
No one
Yeah,
puts up what's
exactly.
really
You're
going
not
on.
gonna you're
You
not
can't
gonna be
afford
up, just shut my business down, can't
Yeah,
afford food. Yeah.
yeah,
No one's
yeah.
saying
And it
that.
was, and it's great. I'm a healthy weight now, but I was very, very gaunt. I was going blind. Like, I got double vision, and then I started to feel like because I couldn't eat and I couldn't sleep for like 7 months. Your teeth start to wiggle, like everything. Like, I felt like my entire, like someone took like a melon ball, or bigger than a melon ball, or ice cream scoop, took out a
Yeah.
whole piece of my being. Because here where you live, like in the United States, so much of your identity is what you do.
Yeah.
And if people knew what I was actually doing, I was literally falling on the floor, crying, not doing, I mean, it's so weird now because I'm generally a happy person my whole life. And then this blip, like it gave me such a deeper appreciation for people who are going through something behind closed doors. And,
Yeah.
the
Which
expression,
most people are, right?
right. Most people are. And I didn't realize the intensity of closing a business that I loved and that felt like a part of my identity, and how that was going to affect me. Like I had two very little boys at the time,
Yeah.
and I I cannot really describe what it feels like to feel hollow, where like my sons who had always brought me joy and still bring me joy now, during that time I didn't feel anything. I was like googling how to put myself in a coma. I just wanted to get out of it. And there
Yeah.
was no freedom from the shame. Like I couldn't, it's only now maybe like 6 months. This was 2020, 2021. Like I've only started to like come out from that horrible film of shame that you just kind of wear, and only you notice it, you know?
Yeah. So, how did you sort of claw yourself out of that shame? I know
Yeah.
not just the shame, but how did you claw yourself out of those feelings to start this new business on your own?
Well, you got to look at your two little kids in the eye and be like,
Yeah.
wow, your parents have no income and we're about to have no home.
Yeah.
So, luckily, I have the skill, and, you know, to build half of the beauty business on my own. My
Yeah.
husband is a beauty packaging designer, so he did the logo and the packaging and everything. And the two of us pretended everything was okay when our kids were awake.
Yeah.
When they went to bed, we would get to work. And then I was inspired. Actually, someone told me this story about Danielle Steele. She'd always wake up real like 4 in the morning to write her books, so her kids like it didn't interrupt her motherhood. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the Danielle Steele School of Getting Stuff Done. And Jonathan, my husband, and I would work overnight and then wake up super early in the morning, do more work, send the kids to school, work. Like we just made it happen. And because it was our second rodeo, we could do it really fast the second time. So we just were like machines.
Yeah.
You know, when you have the adrenaline of hope, like it was sink or swim, really. It was either that or get new jobs. And once you get a taste of entrepreneurship, it's really like I felt like I was unemployable because first of all, I was wearing the shame, right? So it was like, who would
Yeah.
want me? I'm a failed entrepreneur. And also then like, oh, the freedom of being an entrepreneur. I don't know if I'm ready to give that up and work for someone else while I know I can fully build again.
Yeah.
So it's tricky.
It is tricky, but like you said, you had that motivation sort of staring you in the face every single day.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure that helped to just give you the motivation that you needed in order to just
Yeah.
go back at it every single day.
Yeah, and you know, it's so weird when you come out of a bad situation, right? And you look back and you're like, I can't
Yeah.
believe I let this thing affect me so much. And so
Yeah.
if
Oh,
anyone is
absolutely.
listening and they're going through something, future you is going to realize that what you're going through is like it's a big deal, but it's not that big a deal. It's not
Yeah.
like life ending. Like I thought it was life ending. Like I thought I was on the edge for a very long time and no one could see and no one really knew because I could pull myself together in front of my friends and laugh and be
Yeah.
normal. But then when I was alone, the darkness would pour over me and it was bad.
Yeah. And so you feel that that's changed for you now. You feel better about that and your
Yeah.
mindset has shifted.
Yeah. Yeah, and it
That's great.
almost feels like an alien took over my body at that time and I finally kicked it out.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. Isn't
know?
that's a great way to describe it, right? It's like
Yeah.
something was a part of you for several years that you really didn't want to be a part
Mhm.
of you and it's finally bye-bye.
Yeah, and now that, you know, someone said to me something that helped me so much, and I'll pass it along. It's the reason that the windshield is so wide and the rear view mirror is so small.
Yeah.
Like that's how you have to kind of go through life realizing that like yeah, the rear view mirror, it's like that stuff's not that important anymore. It's what's
Yeah.
ahead. And that it cured me in a way I didn't expect to. It's a very simple thing to say, but it cured
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, that's I've heard that before, and I think it's so true because so much of our lives we want to look in that rearview mirror and,
Yeah.
and blame and shame and everything for things that have happened in the past, when it's really about the windshield and looking forward, that we have
Yeah.
to, live in the present and in tomorrow. So are you able to look at that situation now and realize that while it was so painful, you would never be where you are today without all that happening?
Yes, but then there's a little bit of me that has that sliding doors thing, which is like if we could just get our acts together and do things, we'd be like a different kind of tier because we were one of the firsts.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
go
yeah. I see
through
what you
that,
mean.
and it takes everything
You
in my
do the what ifs. You go through
yeah,
the what ifs.
and
Yeah.
it
Okay.
takes me everything in my power to whack-a-mole that what if
Yeah.
and get it back out of my system. But I mean, I
Right.
think that's a very human thing, and I want
Of
people to
course.
know that no, I'm not like I'm not like so confident that this was the better outcome, but it is the outcome,
Yes.
and this is what it is, and it's good, like, and it's great. In fact, like I really love my little company that I've built on my own,
Yeah.
and I love the way we're able to do things like really silly and in my style, and a little bit more rock and roll and counterculture than if I
Yeah.
had to follow a traditional beauty path for this
Yeah.
brand, and that's really fun for me.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, if you had one piece of advice to give someone who might be thinking about starting a business, or, whether it's creating a product or starting any kind of business, opening up a store, who knows? Because, entrepreneurship can be very scary and overwhelming. What would your one piece of advice be?
Bank on yourself. You can't you can't share your passion, and you can't expect someone else to care about it as much as you do.
So
Do it
true.
on your own. I know everyone, it's very kumbaya and very, very much entwined to being a woman to want to have a partner and bestie in business. It's better to do it yourself.
Okay. I love that. I love that. Bank on yourself. So true,
Mhm.
though. So true.
It's the most expensive lesson I ever learned.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So tell us where we can find your
Sure.
products.
Sure. So you can find our products in hair salons, zero waste stores, and in surf shops all around the country. But if you go to our website, dipalready.com, you can purchase them directly from our site. Or if you go to the store locator, you can find the store that is closest to you. It'll automatically pull up.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. How many stores are you guys in?
I think around 500 right now.
Wow.
And it's always
Awesome.
growing. We always new stores. And if you are a store owner or someone who owns a small store in a town, like we will send people to your store. We use our marketing to send people into your store to buy dip. We prefer they do that, and a lot of our marketing, like, it just gets people to understand that small stores are really part of the fiber of your community.
Yeah, absolutely. And where can they find you on social?
Sure. At Dip Already on Instagram and on TikTok. If you want to chat with me at all, I'm the person who runs the Instagram. I really love it, and it's fun for me to
So
talk
fun.
to the
Yeah.
customer. Yeah. And then on TikTok, I'm also popping in and out of there, but I don't think in video as much as I think in images. So I
Yeah.
have up with that one.
That's great. And TikTok is Dip already as well.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, I am so excited to use all of these products, and I think it is. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really heard of bar shampoo and conditioner, so this is a new concept for me, and I'm excited to try it. I love the idea of it and the reasoning behind it. And as we head into summer, where there are lots of showers and lots of kids in my showers at the beach, I am going to. This is awesome because it's something that's really easy to stock up and have, and I'm going to throw it in my beach bag. It's
Amazing.
I mean, I'm so glad you gave me that idea. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing so vulnerably with us your story and, everything that you went through in building the business and rebuilding the business. I really loved hearing your story, and I'm sure my listeners did as well. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's really a privilege to be here, and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Really.
absolutely. So, guys, make sure you check out Dip shampoo and conditioner, and there is a body wash bar, which is a clean body wash bar. So if you're sick of using soap and you can't find a clean one, I really think you should try this dip body wash. They have fragrance free and some clean fragrances as well. So check them out. And we will link everything in the show notes so you can find right to her website and also her socials. And as you know, you can find me at Suburban Warrior on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook and YouTube. And please give us a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review. Let us know what you thought of the podcast, because leaving a review will help other women find this podcast so that they can hear these conversations just like you are today. So be sure to click the follow button, and we will be back next week with another amazing suburban warrior here to share her story with you. Until then, have a great week.